Good morning, everyone. This is Julie HR, and today is February the 10th, 2025. Thank you for joining me to go over our weekly HR news, trends, and compliance dates. This is a PowerPoint you're not going to want to miss. So let's get started. I say this every week, but this is our 8th weekly update, and I like to say if it's the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th, or the 10th, and when it's the 200th, I really am so excited that you are here to join me on this journey as we go through 2025 together, as we look at ways that we can make our HR departments better and to lead and to serve. And I wanted to start off with a little quote right here. It was from an anonymous individual. The best HR leaders are those who lead with empathy and vision. And I certainly want empathy to be part of it. And I want all of you to know that every week that you're taking the time to go with me through all that I'm sharing with you, that I bring to you, that I work so hard each and every week to gather for you, you're going to be having that vision. You're going to understand the macro concepts, what's going on in the world around you, not just what's in your workplace, but I'm going to provide you information that's going to make you a better HR leader. I understand what I didn't have when I was coming up through the ranks, and I want to provide you, whether you're just a student, a brand new HR generalist, or either if you're at the very top of the ranks, I want to provide you with insights that you're not going to get anywhere else. I promise you that. And I'm dedicated to your growth, and I'm dedicated to providing you with the best information to allow you to be the best HR professional you can be and lead your organization. With that being said, I'm super excited to get started. And we're going to start off with last week's recap. We're going to go over news and trends, which is something that we haven't focused in on, but this is something that you're going to really need to learn and understand as an HR professional and being that strategic leader, because that's what I expect of you, and that's what you expect of yourself, I'm sure. We're going to be looking at upcoming compliance dates. We're going to be going over the executive orders. We're going to go over the employee engagement focus module, and we're going to also look at time management. So I'm super excited you're here. I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished. So let's get started. Okay, last week we went over some of the deadlines. February 15th, if you have not already sent an email out to your employees to get updated changes, should they need to change their W-4, you need to go ahead and send an email out to those employees. Also, February the 17th, that is a Monday. That's next Monday. So make a note, because when there is a holiday, President's Day, there's usually scheduling, there's issues, there's payroll, there's a lot of HR things that come into that are impacted when there is a day off. So you need to make sure everybody knows that, and your managers need to know that. Last week we discussed employee engagement, and we discussed new employee orientation, which was great. We went over my orientation PowerPoint, which you can find on my HR Education Edge Etsy store. It allows an employee to connect with the company, and it allows you to show the employee how they fit into the big picture. It's an amazing PowerPoint for orientation, and it increases employee engagement, no doubt. Last week and this week, we looked at the new administration, which we will be discussing again today, and I'll be providing you with some takeaway documents. Last week's feature template was Workplace Safety Bundle, which goes over numerous safety audits, safety quizzes. There's even a health and safety program within the bundle for you to use and to tweak for your organization. And a health and safety program for many organizations, depending on your industry and your size, is required by OSHA. So this is a great safety bundle, and it has a lot of items that you will love if you're in HR and you are over that department of safety. Last week, we reviewed some of the upcoming developments across the states, and we're going to be doing that again today. We're going to be looking at New York, Minnesota, and I think there's New Mexico. And I'm just going to keep you up to date so you'll know the latest minimum wage increases, the latest paid sick law, even if it's in like Bakersfield, I think I said that wrong, California, or, Northeast Georgia. You will know that. I'm going to bring it to you. We also talked about manager support in 2025. You, as that visionary strategic leader, need to understand that your support to your managers is invaluable in this day and time. You are going to need to be that guiding force, that visionary who leads with empathy. And these are some of the templates within my Etsy store that can provide it to you. If it's not in the correct format that you want, I'm happy to help you with that. I can always help you tweak it and make it look a little bit more like your organization on the cover. So I'm always here to help. I want you to succeed. As mentioned, in my 20s, I didn't always have access to a lot of this information, but it's very important for you as an HR leader or upcoming leader to understand the big picture about what's going on in the U.S. as far as job creation, new jobs. Is it within your sector? I have an MBA, and so I understand the importance of understanding what's going on outside my organization. Granted, there's a lot going on probably in your organization, probably more than can be expected, and you're juggling a million hats. But it's important to take the time to understand sometimes a little bit more of the macro picture so you can bring your knowledge into your leadership team and show them, hey, this is the value that I add to this organization. Let me tell you what's going on within the HR realm of things. So I'm going to go over this really quick. It's called January's Jobs Report. It comes out. There's one that comes out every month. I'll share it with you. And it's something that you need to understand. It's from the government. And so it's called January's Jobs Report. And then we'll have a February and whatnot. And January's jobs report, the U.S. employers added 143,000 jobs in January, marking continued expansion in the labor market. It was a little bit more moderate because they were expecting actually about 170,000 jobs to come in, but it was only 143. As far as the sector, this actually could be your sector, I'm not sure. Service industries, that went up. Healthcare, most definitely. Professional services and leisure hospitality, for those who are working in the leisure hospitality, contributed a significant share of the job gains. Manufacturing and retail sectors experienced modest increases, reflecting mixed recovery trends across industries. As far as wage growth trends, the average hourly earnings rose at a moderate rate, suggesting that while employers are hiring, wage pressures may be easing, a factor that could help moderate inflation. Labor market tightness. Despite the slower pace of job additions, the unemployment rate remains near historic low levels, underscoring a tight labor market where businesses continue to compete for workers. Things are changing, my friends. Economic implications. The tempered job growth hints at a cooling labor market compared to previous months, which may signal a gradual slowdown in economic momentum while still supporting overall resilience. With wage increases moderating alongside job gains, there's a cautious optimism that inflationary pressures could ease over time. Now, everything is changing at a very rapid rate. This is January's, so I'm not sure what's going on with February's, but for you to have this information and for you to be able to share with your CEO or just to actually know this, it's great. Sometimes you have to take a little bit of a step back from your organization to understand what's really going on in all these other industries if you're not keeping up. This week, there's also some more data. I'm going to be sure to bring it to you if I see that it impacts your organization within the HR realm of things and also could impact your employees. This week, the government will be bringing the producer price index, durable good orders, housing market data. I'm sure that's something that is probably pretty important to you. So I will bring you that. Consumer sentiment, confidence surveys, what are the households looking like? And then Federal Reserve communications. So these are things that I want to bring to you that will make you, as mentioned, a very valuable strategic resource within your organization, just knowing this. So let's keep going. As we look at the compliance key dates, we already mentioned February 15th with the W-4 forms. And also I reminded you about sending an email out about President's Day and how a holiday can, if your organization is having a holiday that day, how it impacts everything from payroll to scheduling individuals within shifts and whatnot, and your managers. Sometimes we're just so busy within our jobs, we don't even think about it. So be sure to take that into consideration. I know a lot of small businesses actually watch this on Mondays or Tuesdays. However, I wanted to bring up about the H-1B visas because you could quite possibly be a technology company, I'm not sure, or an engineering company who needs H-1B visa workers. But employers planning to sponsor foreign workers for H-1B visas can start submitting registrations for the fiscal year 2026, beginning on March the 7th. I'm sure a lot of you may know that if you are actually sponsoring someone. And according to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the registration window will open at noon on March 7th and will remain open until noon Eastern Time on March 24th. Now, a lot of you, I get it, are probably, your organization may not deal with H-1B visa and sponsoring foreign workers, but it's definitely something as an HR professional you need to know and understand. You may be at this organization forever, for the rest of your life, but there's always a chance that you will be transferring into another organization, and you need to understand what's going on and, what time of year H-1B visas are due and when they need to be submitted and whatnot. So I want to educate you on as much as I can. Now we're going to take a look at executive orders. There's a lot to it, and there's still a lot of information to come out. With executive orders, and I'm sure a lot of you already know this, once a president issues an executive order, a particular, let's say for down here, Attorney General Pam Bondi, she has issued a memo. So typically when an executive order comes out, there is also a memo that's going to support that will provide, whether you're a federal whether you're a government entity or you're a federal contractor or you're a private employer, it's going to provide you more direction. So as we get closer to, as each week goes on, you're going to learn a little bit more about what's expected of your organization. And this week, after we go over executive orders, we're going to look at Attorney General Pam Bondi's memo that was issued to help some private employers navigate what she had issued in her memo. And we're also going to look at some of the upcoming developments. But with that being said, we're first going to look at this spreadsheet. Please note that I will be providing a link to it. So if you don't get all of it, which you probably shouldn't, just listen to what I'm saying, and then you can go back and look at it. Okay? All right, I created a spreadsheet as opposed to putting everything on that PowerPoint. So know that column 1, topic, the executive order, the employers affected, the key provision, but this is right here, practical impacts on employers. And I tried to highlight some items, and I'm going to touch upon those. Right here, artificial intelligence. As mentioned probably for the past 4 or 5 weeks, it impacts all employers potentially. What it did is it reversed President Biden. He had some guidance out there and he had issued an executive order. However, federal agency guidance for employers regarding AI is added, updated, or removed, including the removal of, so there were 2 guidance documents from the EEOC that were removed. Bottom line is that there are fewer federal requirements on AI in the workplace. But there are some states that may step in with more AI regulations. And not to overwhelm you, but actually I pulled those states right here, and we'll look at those really, really quickly. You see New York, Maryland, Illinois, California, Colorado. So know that this AI, there's few federal requirements on AI in the workplace. Okay. We're going to go here. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, federal contractors. Okay. So basically the executive order terminates all DEI programs and policies in the federal government. And that's what you already know. We've talked about this for the past 3 weeks. So that is with federal contractors. Now this particular one, the affirmative action provision affects federal contractors. The DEI provisions affect all employers potentially. And so we're going to look at this really quick. Federal contractors that were previously required to have an affirmative action plan, you guys know all about it, and carry out other elements of affirmative action based on race, color, sex, sexual orientation, religion, or national origin will no longer be required to do so. However, you need to note that the affirmative action requirements under the Vietnam Era Veterans Readjustment Act and Section 503 of the Rehabilitation Act pertaining to disability remain in effect. Federal officials have 120 days to submit recommendations to combat illegal DEI. During this time, employers should review their current policies and procedures that may be construed as related to DEI. And that is why I'm going to be bringing you Pam Bondi's memo to help you, because that's what federal officials have 120 days. So she is responding to that. Okay. Discrimination and harassment, that has to do with let's go right here, with the defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and whatnot. This entire executive order where the executive order just recognizes male and female. That's what it at its face, what it said. So what are some of the impacts? Employers may see more scrutiny of policies and practices regarding sex or gender segregated facilities such as restrooms and locker rooms. We mentioned that last week. The EEOC is likely to narrow the breadth of cases it pursues involving anti-LGBTQ plus discrimination and harassment. Claims of discrimination or harassment against cisgender or heterosexual individuals may be prioritized. So there are a lot of things that are coming out right now, and everybody needs to know that this is while we need to stay ahead of it and we need to stay on top of it, there are changes, there are lawsuits, there are a lot of things going on right now. But I will keep you updated. This has to do with immigration, and we all know this. Employers can expect increased enforcement actions. I hope everyone has completed their I-9 audit. You really need to do that if you have not. U.S. Customs and Border Protection and workside raids are a possibility. 2 weeks ago, it was kind of an action item for you guys to kind of put together a plan. What happens if an ICE agent shows up at my office? And you need to understand the type of warrants they need to have, where they can go, a private area, a public area. Can they talk to your employees? No, they cannot. You should have something in place where the employees they need to have an attorney present. And you should be involving your employees with your attorneys with this plan. Okay? And moving right along, this keys into all employers, particularly employers with workers on the temporary employment-based visas. And this one right here is securing our borders. Employers of workers authorized to work under a certain humanitarian parole program. And there were some parole programs. So you can read through those. I know some of those were, I believe, in Ohio. But you can go ahead and read because I know there's a lot of talk about that within the elections and whatnot. With that being said, we're going to go back up to AI, right? And a lot of regulations were rolled back. However, there are some items on the books for particular states. There were all the states on here, but I just pull out the ones that have requirements. California, effective January 1, employers are unenforceable if a provision allows for the creation and use of a digital replica of the worker's voice or likeness and does not meet statutory restrictions. And then here we have Colorado. The topic is discrimination. Illinois, employment contracts, discrimination, and recruiting. Maryland was recruiting, which was, we look at this, employers must be transparent and follow ethical guidelines and obtain employee consent to use AI-based facial recognition. New York, employment contracts. I'll let you read through this. And then down here at the bottom, New York City, the use of bias audits and transparency in hiring and promotion. Okay, so that's probably one that you're more than likely familiar with, or that's been rolled out. It was in New York City. Okay, but not all organizations use this type of AI automated employment decision tools at this time, but it is out there in some jurisdictions. So I'm going to have a link to this within the description that you can go over. Here we have executive orders, and here we have AI. I hope that wasn't too much for you guys. I really want you to grasp it. I really want to give you what you need, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. So I'm going to close that. Okay, we're going to look at Attorney General Pam Bondi and her memo, okay? And a couple different sources kind of put together this memo from, I think Sherm had maybe part of a memo, and then another law firm had another memo, and just kind of brought a lot of it together. And basically, for private employers, this is very important. So if you're a private employer, please listen to this. Government scrutiny on DEI programs, okay? So President Trump issued an executive order. Now Pam Bondi has issued a memo directing the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division and Office of Legal Policy to report by March 1st. So that's the date right there for you, on enforcing civil rights laws and eliminating unlawful discrimination within DEI policies. This report will outline the steps to deter discriminatory DEI practices, including criminal investigations and potential civil compliance under this order. Okay, so she'll be providing direction for private employers. Okay, so legal experts, I'm going to read just a little bit more about this because it's really important. Legal experts, including Aaron Goldstein of Dorsey and Whitney, caution that businesses failing to proactively, so I need you as HR leaders to be proactive in evaluating your DEI strategies, especially if you're a private employer and you know that while, a lot of these executive orders are tailored towards, the federal government, it's inching into the private sector too. Hiring, promotions, and employment benefits decisions based on protected class. So what you need to do is really go back and look at your internal communications and your policies if you're a private employer over the past, and obviously, with federal too and federal contractors, over the past couple of years to prepare for any potential legal challenges. This attorney stressed that organizations must ensure compliance, not just with federal agencies, but against private legal actions stemming from the shifting regulatory landscape. Like I said, things are shifting, things are changing. So as a private employer, here are some prohibited practices. You need to look at your communications. You might need to go back, maybe look at your email, anything that maybe said a mentorship only open to women in STEM fields, which, kind of bearing male employees. Quota system, setting specific hiring or promotion targets based on race or gender is unlawful. These are some prohibited practices under Title VII. You want to avoid legal repercussions. And this particular document will provide you some best practices for DEI compliance at this time. You want to recommend a focus on equal opportunity rather than outcomes, inclusive outreach and recruitment, skills-based hiring, promotion, equitable. You need to go back and look at your communications, go to your emails, be very proactive. Ensure DEI statements focus on removing barriers because you want to ensure the success for all employees. And this is coming from a legal expert. Emphasize merit-based employment decisions and avoid language that suggests hiring preferences based on protective characteristics. And I thought the great example was a mentorship only open to women, which kind of bears male employees. So just be very careful about that. And I will keep you updated. Right now, we're looking at March 1st and getting a little more information on that. But from week to week, we'll talk about this. Okay. Next, we're going to look at some of the developments, kind of like a screenshot. We went over a couple of them last week. I think they even kind of went into June, but I just don't want to overwhelm everyone, but just take a look. New York, Michigan, voter initiated sick leave, Michigan, minimum wage, New Mexico, take a snapshot, and know that I will keep putting this up every week and probably add just a little bit more April, May, so you are prepared. But you probably already know this, but still want to share with you. Okay. So let's take it back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Once again, I'm so proud of everyone. I've just heard so many good things about what you guys are doing in your organizations throughout all of these changes, this new year. I'm so proud. Just keep that vision, be that leader. I put a quote out about just tuning out the noise. And it's just not, tuning out the noise, doing your job, being confident in doing your job. Okay. Now we're on to my favorite module, employee engagement focus. And as mentioned within all my videos, I want to provide you, HR executives, HR leaders, things that are going to make your organization thrive, things that are going to bring people together, and great ideas that I've used in the past that I've seen really, really help. Within this particular module, this employee engagement module, here is my employee engagement calendar, which you can find in my Etsy store. February, celebrating connections. And, I thought about connections today, actually earlier, when I watched the Super Bowl, because I thought about teams. It's funny how I think about HR all the time, but I really do, because HR is so very important. I thought about teams. And before I jump into that, let's go over February's theme, which is celebrating connections. We have Valentine's Day. February 20th is Love Your Pet Day. In March, don't forget, March is Employee Appreciation Month, where you can just celebrate Employee Appreciation Day. And that's kind of jumping into March. But gosh, we're already into February. And when I was thinking about connections, and I was watching the Super Bowl, as many of you were, I started thinking about teamwork, especially when the Eagles coach came out and he started speaking about, team. And I'm like, team is so key in this day and age. I know it's a key word. It really helps organizations thrive. And I've created 2 templates, and we can look at them a little bit closer. I would highly recommend you using this as an HR leader with your managers and those managers that have teams, for teams getting to know each other, the teams that need to build together and that need to thrive together to make the organization better. So there was a study in the Harvard Business Review that revealed that companies fostering effective teamwork, and instilling a strong sense of purpose experience higher levels of employee engagement. And I was like, this is perfect for this week, and going over employee engagement. The collaborative nature of effective teams enhances employees' sense of belonging, commitment, laying the foundation for sustained engagement. And these 2 particular teamwork discovery templates I've created within my Etsy website, I absolutely love. Getting to know others on your team is so important. I'm going to kind of zoom in on this one. Teamwork discovery worksheet. Fill out the prompts to reflect your unique work style and experience. Get ready to share and celebrate what makes you a valuable part of the team. And some of these questions that if you can get your managers to incorporate this perhaps into maybe one of their team meetings, it's really going to open the door to communication within that team. So each individual employee would get this, and then they would share it with the team, and it gets them to know their teammates better. And teamwork is so important. The work environment that brings out the best in me is. So you, as an HR leader, are providing your managers with a tool that is going to allow them to have their teams thrive and work together. So providing them with this tool, like I mentioned earlier, managers need you. They need your vision, they need your strategy, and they need you to provide them tools to help their teams thrive. And this would be one of them. Excuse me. So, one fun fact or a unique trait that makes me who I am. Outside of work, things I'm passionate about. What inspires me to contribute my best to my team is. So each individual employee within that team would be filling it out. So it's a super awesome template. Okay, we're going to take another look. Yes, I created a team building bingo card, and it can be used in a number of ways. You could actually play it, and the employees, how many boxes can you actually fill out within maybe 2 days, or how many bingos can you get within a day? It's basically up to you. The instructions are down here. And it's a great team building exercise. Ask a colleague what tools, resources help them in their job. Ask them to show you how to use one. Take notes on the process. So teammates, teamwork, people on your team are learning about you, and they're learning about them. And managers, this is just a wonderful tool to provide to your managers that they can use within perhaps maybe one of their meetings, and getting their teams to collaborate together to be the best team within the organization. So I was really excited, especially the Super Bowl Sunday, to provide that employee engagement theme and templates. So super awesome. Now I'm going to look at, I always feature a template at the end. And this week, I've heard from many HR professionals, and I've also taken the consideration of, how HR professionals are feeling. A lot of them are feeling burned out in the organization, in many of the organizations. And I've been reading a lot of stories about HR individuals getting burned out. And I know that there is a possibility. I've been there. I've been on the cusp of that. But there are some things and tools that are very important. And I would say one of the most important things is guarding your time and time management. I'd also like to flip back to vision. You have to be that visionary person that sees what's going to be possibly coming at you in the future and be able to prepare and ensure you have the time. There are 2 templates within my store. There's an end of the week checklist that kind of helps you a little bit with your time, and also helps you reflect upon not getting so overwhelmed, but focusing on your successes and your challenges and your key learnings, perhaps from, maybe not scheduling your time right. But this is called the end of the week HR checklist. And this is straight from my experiences and whatnot, making sure that I kind of went through this each and every week to make sure everything was covered before I locked up my HR door every single Friday evening. Also, this Eisenhower matrix. As an HR professional, I'm sure, especially if you're a department of one, you have things thrown at you left and right and up and down. You need to understand, and I'm actually going to go into this, how to do it now, decide when to do it, delegate it, or delete it. If you're one of these people who attacks problems as they come to you, you're not going to get the right things done. You're not going to be getting that executive report that's due to your manager that is very urgent and very important if you're dealing with things that you can delegate, maybe delete, or maybe decide when to do it. So I'm going to open, go right here. This particular time management workbook has a lot of different great ideas to help you and also your managers with time management. I've seen so many people be able to thrive as an HR professional once they learn how to execute and plan their time management, and also communicate when they're available, when they're not available. But this Eisenhower matrix right here, and I challenge you this week, right? Because I'm not going to do a huge deep dive into it. I'm just going to let you know that this particular template is great, and it gives you some great ideas in managing your time, because time is money, money is time, and time is something that HR departments, especially if you're a department of one, you just don't have enough time for, and you're going to get burned out if you do not know how to schedule your time correctly. But this Eisenhower matrix, know that with each task that comes your way, actually did a little, let me zoom out just a little bit. Eisenhower matrix with tasks. You should be able to understand where each of these tasks go. Important. Is this task important and urgent? Is it important but not urgent? It's not important but it's urgent. Somebody may come in and say there's something, but it's not that important, but yet they think it's urgent, or it's not important or not urgent. You've got to be able to look at the task, know when it's due, understand the urgency, and understanding the importance. And once you understand this Eisenhower matrix, and you can Google it, you can look at it, and you can understand it, but it will be so much more, it'll be so valuable this week if you grasp an understanding of this Eisenhower matrix as it pertains to all your many tasks, and you're able to, maybe create one yourself, or just kind of draw it out and be able to put where things go, or actually just kind of know where they need to go. This will make a huge difference within your day, within your time, within your organization. And your time is valuable, and that's why this week I chose to pull these particular featured templates into play. So this week, as you go, it is Monday, and I'm hoping that everyone is probably going to be listening to this either today or tomorrow, that I'm here to help you. I'm super excited. I'm so proud of what you're doing. I really hope that you're getting everything that I'm providing to you because I'm really giving you my all because I want to see you succeed. I want to give you tools that others have never provided to me. And I want you to be a very successful HR professional. This profession is not going away. In fact, the other week we talked about how it will grow over the next couple of years. So I want you to know I'm here for you. And we're going to click, actually, hold on. It's probably going to take me back to the beginning. Let's see. So let's click through it real quick. Be sure to connect with me on YouTube. Be sure to set a reminder. I send one of these out every single Monday. I like to have it up by 6 a.m. I think I'm a little 6 or 7 a.m. on Mondays. So you can maybe go over it as you're drinking your coffee. So be sure to subscribe. Be sure to visit my Etsy shop. It provides you over 475 HR templates. Do not recreate the wheel. I mean, especially in your small businesses. I've created it. New hire paperwork, onboarding, orientation, across the board. Link in with me on Instagram. Also, I'm on LinkedIn, Julie Burns. You should be able to find me. Simple. And if not, you can also go to my website. But I'm so proud of you. Stick with it. I'm here to guide you. I'm here to help you. And I want you to have a great week. I want you to be that visionary. I want you to walk in knowing that you have confidence in yourself, knowing that you've been provided information to make you successful, and you're staying up to date on news and trends that are important to your organization and also within the big scheme of things. So have a great week. I look forward to talking to you later. Thanks so much.